Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to make a pork roast or a Boston butt. This does have the bone in, so I'm going to need to cook it a little bit longer than you would, the regular. This is going to go in the oven. I've got a pan here that's got the grill on it. I'm going to put this on there and I'm going to cover it with aluminum foil. It's going to go in the oven at 400 degrees. Since this is about 4 pounds, the rule of thumb is 30 minutes per pound. So I'm going to cook this 2 hours and then I'm going to check it, at about 2.5. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse this off. I'm going to dry it. I'm going to pat it dry. And then I'm going to put olive oil and my pork seasoning on it and my crazy mixed up salt. So just give me a minute and I will show you how I get this prepared. Okay, so I have rinsed this off and I've patted it dry. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put olive oil. You can also put butter if you prefer, but I like to use olive oil, and you're going to rub it in all the way around. Now you're going to put your fat side down on the bottom, but you still want to make sure you get it good and oiled up here. And my hands are completely oily, so I'm going to use my clean towel here to wipe my hands off. Okay, and then you are going to season it, and you're going to put a good bit of seasoning on this because you're going to want the flavor all the way through. Now this is something from a farm we have close by called Mason Hills that I got this from, but you can also use Tony Chachere's. You can make your own with garlic, salt and pepper, cayenne pepper, pretty much anything you want. Or there's some good recipes online as far as making a good rub. So you're going to want to get that on there. And I'm also going to put some of my seasoning salts on it. This just adds a little bit. I like the flavor of this. You don't have to use that. So now that you make sure everything is good and coated, make sure a little bit more here. All right. Now you can also, I'm going to put this on here. You can also take this and put it in a pan and, oh my God, I can't think of the word. Sear it. Sear it all the way around first if you prefer. So I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil. Again, it's going to go in the oven at 400 degrees. After an hour and a half or hour and 15 minutes, you take the aluminum foil off and you let it finish cooking without the aluminum foil. That way you make sure you get a nice crispy outside. So let me get this all covered up and I'll be right back. Okay, so just real quick before I put this other piece on here, you're going to want to make sure it's sealed up all the way around, but you're going to want to kind of make a little tint over it, kind of like that. But yeah, can you see that? Like a little tint over it. That way you're going to get airflow all the way around it, and that way you make sure you have it even cooking without it getting soggy. Okay, so as you can see, it's sealed up all the way around and it's tinted. Just something real quick before this goes in the oven. Just a reminder, when you're handling any kind of meat, especially pork, or well, any kind of meat, make sure you're washing your hands with soap in between, handling this and that so you don't cross-contaminate anything. That way you just make sure everything's good and safe. But just, again, make sure you have something you can wash your hands with. Keep your hands washed real good while you're handling meat. Again, this is going in the oven 400 degrees for 2 hours. An hour and a half, I'm going to take the aluminum foil off and I'm going to let it get browned and crispy on the outside. I will show y'all once it comes out. Okay, it's been an hour and 15 minutes and I just took this out because I need to uncover it. And while I got it uncovered, I'm going to check the temperature. Damn, it's kind of hot. I need to be careful doing this. All right. Go. All right, so you're going to want to check, you always want to check the fattest or the deepest part. And since we got a bone right here, I'm going to go ahead and go in like that to the thick part. Now, I'm sure it's not cooked all the way through, but I just want to kind of get an idea of where the temperature's at right now. So close to the bone, it's only 80, and it needs to be in between 145 and 160. So it is not cooking. It is not cooked around that bone for sure. So here. So yeah, the rest of it's cooking pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna uncover this and put this back in the oven for 30 to 45 minutes, and I'm going to check the temperature again. Again, it's supposed to be in between 145 and 160. Okay, so this wound up taking 2 hours to get to the right internal temperature. I did turn it sideways so the fat side would be up, and when I browned it, so everything would get nice and brown. But it did finally get up to the 160, and it's supposed to, after it sits, I'm going to cover it up and let it rest for 15 minutes, and it should get down to the 145. So I'm going to, you can eat it like this, of course, but I'm going to shred it and put it barbecue sauce, and we're going to have sandwiches. So just, I'm going to give it a few minutes to rest. But again, it took longer because of the bone in. If you know, and sometimes it just, depending on your oven, it takes a little longer. So that's why it's very good. You definitely do have to have a thermometer so you know when it gets to the right temperature. I'm going to get this shredded, and I will show y'all. Shred this up. I'm just cutting it right now, but I just wanted to show you how juicy and tender this is. So that's a good thing. I didn't get all dried out. It is nice and juicy. So I'm going to finish getting this cut and shredded up. I don't have one of them hand shredder things. I'm going to need to get me one. And then I'm going to put some barbecue sauce. My favorite is Kraft Hickory Smoke. And we're going to make. So since I didn't have one of those shreddy things, I just went ahead and cut this up. Remember to put in some of the, make sure you get the end pieces, the outer edges where you've got all the seasoning. Make sure you've got that in there. And then I am going to just pour my barbecue sauce in here. Okay. We're just going to get this stirred up. I'm going to put this on medium. I'm going to cover it up, and I'm going to let it simmer for about 5-10 minutes. Until it gets nice and hot again and all the flavors get mixed in. And then we are going to heat up some buns, and we are going to have some wonderful pork sandwiches. Okay, also you're going to have a lot of the fat, since this is a pork butt, you're going to have a lot of the fat, and you're going to have the bone and stuff left. Don't throw this away. Put it in a bag, you know, as airtight as you can. Put it in the freezer. The next time you make beans, this will add awesome flavor to your beans. So keep this, or throw it away. I always keep it, because that way you can use it for beans or seasonings and things like that. So let me get this done, and then when I get ready to put it on the buns, while that is simmering, it's just kind of keeping warm. I have my buns here, and my son bought the cheaper buns, so I'm going to put these in the oven. But what I do is I put a little bit of butter on it, and just sprinkle a little, like a little onion powder on the bottom buns. So I'm going to put these, I'm going to get these browned. That way they hold together better. We're going to get these stacked together, and I'll be. So I have this is the buns. They've come out of the oven, and you can see they're going to be nice and crispy. So I like using the Hickory Smoke barbecue. And if you also pull off the edges and you put in here with the seasoning, your pork tastes more like it's actually been on the grill or on a smoker, because you've got this hickory smoke, and then you've got all the edges, the cooked edges with all that seasoning on it. It's I promise you, it literally tastes like it come out of a smoker. So I kind of made a mess with this meat right here, but this is a nice pork sandwich here on toasted bun. And I'm going to just grab some chips. So a simple meal. It took a few hours, but it's a nice simple meal and just a few ingredients. So this is going to be kind of hot, but I have tasted the meat, and I'll go ahead and taste the meat again since I've got y'all right here. So see, it's so good. It's yummy. It's got just the right amount of smokiness taste. So y'all have any questions, let me know. If not, enjoy, y'all.